If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Paulie Howard, live downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Thanks for checking in today on the VSiN Watch app, Sirius XM Channel 158, YouTube TV, wherever you might be taking the show in today. We appreciate it. Huge show coming up over the next 3 hours. Rivalry weekend in Major League Baseball, the Preakness, WNBA, PGA update, and of course the playoff schedule for tonight and this weekend in the NHL and the NBA, where the Knicks are holding steady as a 2.5-point favorite now over the Celtics, and the total is around 210. In the first quarter tonight, the Knicks are minus a half a point. In the first half, the Knicks are either minus 1 or 1.5. Where are you at with this one? Because you liked them in Game 5.
Yeah.
And they did not get the job done. And Tatum now again out for the rest of the year, and the Celtics look good in that second half in keeping that series alive.
Yep. I think come right back with the over, which is cash 3 in a row. Right back with the Pritchard props, bombs away. You know, you can do a same-game parlay at William Hill if you want 14.5 points and 2.5 with the threes. DraftKings knocked it up to 3.5. But it's a huge night, as they haven't made the conference finals in 25 years. Second most expensive ticket in Knicks history, and you got Yankees Mets down the street as well. It's been a hard series to get a read on, but certainly the Knicks have been here before, and they could not close out the Pistons at home, and had to do it on the road. So this is just so much drama here. If Boston can come back, they saw Tatum. He's out of the hospital. He gave him a little pep talk as well. That could be a shot in the arm, but I wouldn't expect White to do that again. Horford or Holiday can't play Porzingis. Can you get that again from Cornette? And I would think OG will never shoot like that again. Brunson will be Superman, and the Knicks will walk away with a close win. That's probably how it'll play out tonight.
Here's the way that I have really thought about the game now in the last 12 to 18 hours, and that is, what if games 4 and 5 were reversed? Meaning the Celtics won Game 4 at the Garden. Tatum did not get hurt. And then they went back to Boston, and the Knicks won that game, and Tatum did get hurt. Right? And we would not have that performance to go on. The first game and the only game now in the series without Jason Tatum. Like, if the games were reversed, would we all not love the Knicks? I think that would be the case. Yeah. And I don't know if this number would be 2.5, although it's been bet up from 1 on the opener right after the game on Wednesday night. So you like the over. To me, that's the biggest question mark of the game tonight, and I don't know what to do with it, and here's why. The first game was 108-105 in overtime. Now, that number was 212.5, 213.5, depending on when you bet it. So it landed right there. The second game stayed under 211, was never close. It was 91-90. Then the total was down to 208, and it was 115-93. The total in that game was 209. It stayed under by a point in that one. And then the last 2 games have absolutely went to the moon.
Yep.
When the total was 208.5 and then 208, you had a combined score of, 235 and then 229 in the last couple of games.
Certainly Tibbs now gets a better look at him and a better idea of what they're going to do offensively after Game 5. And then can this Cornette thing continue again as well? But I expect the Knicks to make the adjustments, and there was a little bit of both. Boston was great in that second half, and the Knicks played lousy. But you would think, can you get a huge effort here from someone other than Brunson? And does Cat go off? And Bridges and the others and OG maybe have a better game, and they get the win. But I can't get past how the first 2 games played out when they were getting blown out. Yeah. I can't get past the Detroit series.
I don't blame you.
I mean, Detroit should have beat them. And the Knicks couldn't close them out at home in that one, too. So the mystique about the Garden and all this and the Mecca, and they have a losing record at home. They've been better on the road. But again, I can't get past the Pritchard props, where that's the one guy I trust from a Boston standpoint, because he was also good in Game 3 when they had Tatum. in the game they had to have.
Well,
Pritchard with a big shot in the arm for him and a big reason why they led that game early on. So he came right back, and he didn't really shoot the ball that well in Game 5, but if he can find it, 2.5, but over 3.5 made threes and over the points again, because he's going to take a ton of them, and I got confidence he's going to make them. But as far as these other guys, I don't know.
Well, let me run down some of the numbers here. Brown's 25.5.
No.
Right?
No.
I mean, do we expect him to have that same kind of game? I mean, he can be really good tonight, but that and so like the points and assist prop tonight is 32.5. It was he went flying over that in the previous game, but it was also 29.5. That's 3 higher now for tonight's game. I mean, to expect him to have 12 assists again tonight, that you can't do that. You can't go to war with something like that. White's now 20.5. That's a big number. It was 18.5 last game, but he doubled that number. No problem.
Yep.
I'm with you. I think Pritchard 14.5. That's only been adjusted by a point, or some spots actually had 14.5 for the last game. And then the other guys, I have no idea.
Yeah, look at Porzingis. I mean, he's 6.5 now. Will he even play the guy? I mean, how much, if you say he can't even breathe the last time out there.
Yeah, is that going to be corrected in 2 days?
Yeah, and what Cornette gave him. So I would definitely go under 6.5 with Porzingis. And, Hart's been good too. And he played well in the last game as well.
Oh, he was great.
But I thought the Horford and the Holiday thing, although they played well, was a total fluke because they look old and cooked for much of this series early on.
Yep. So Brunson's 29.5 or 30.5. Cat is 20.5. Feels like a big number. But doesn't he have to step up here and be like the second best player on the team?
Yeah, but I always worry about the silly fouls. I like over 11. Rebounds, I think, is the way to go. The rebounds has come down now after he was so good early on. He's down to 11.5 with the rebounds.
How about we get over? Yeah, why don't we get a game from Bridges tonight? Just because he's so inconsistent and you don't know if he's going to score 29 or if he's going to score 11?
Yep.
Okay.
Don't know. These are tough. How much run does Robinson get? They've been great with the 2 bigs out there. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to hack a Robinson and that's working for Boston, maybe you have to limit his minutes too. But between the rebounds and props and the points, this has been a tough series and been a hard to get a read on what's going to happen night in, night out.
I have no idea what to do with the total, so I'm going to stay away from that one. You do like the over, you said. You lean that way. And I'm going to wait to see if I can get a better number on the Knicks in play. Maybe Boston, hopefully anyway, gets out to a fast lead, and I'll come back on the Knicks. Yeah.
I can't sell you on the over. They play quicker without Tatum.
That's very true.
Because Tatum is more one-on-one, hunting for the matchup. Where's the mismatch? Where's Brunson? Where's Towns? Finally get it. Okay, here comes the 3. No, there's more threes and more passing and more attacking without Tatum.
Right. There's no stalling the basketball. It doesn't clog down, as you call it, the clogged toilet, right? And he doesn't take 19. It's not James Harden. Here's 17 dribbles, and he's going to go between his legs 10 times, and then, he just operates and bleeds the clock down to 4 seconds, and then he takes some stupid shot.
Well, I love this now because all the pressure's on the Knicks. They got to get this done. I mean, you haven't made it in 25 years. You're at home, close out, and the best player's out for the season. You blow a 3-1 lead, which is all on the table here. Mm-hmm. So that's why I have so much drama and interest tonight.
And they have to win.
Yeah, and can I interest you now in Boston 16-1? OKC loses again, and they don't play well in the second half. They are 1-7 ATS last 8. The superpower team hasn't shown other than one time. So now, if I win tonight, I get Game 7 at home. Who knows? I'm 10-2 without Tatum. There's 16-1 out there to win the title.
Well, would you like him a lot to beat the Pacers?
I don't know. That's a tough series.
That's a really tough series.
I know. I'd have to see more, but I'm in love with this Indiana team right now. And I talked to Jeff Sherman at the Westgate. He makes Minnesota the favorite over Denver.
Has to.
Yeah. They've owned them.
No doubt.
You're going back-to-back 7-game wars.
Yep. Did you make a bet, by the way, on the Nuggets and Thunder for Game 7?
I took Denver. Yeah, I took Denver
because it opened up 8.5.
Yeah,
and then
you got the Gordon news though too. But
and by the way, that came down late in the game last night. The hammy did not look great, and he said he was going to address it as soon as the game ended last night. Obviously.
Yep.
But so how about this now? Total opened 211.5. It closed 218.5, and eventually went over that number by like 10 points last night. That's down because it's a Game 7, so they opened it up 7 points shorter than where Game 6 closed last night.
All of it's weird.
So I bet over 211.5 immediately. I don't love the bet. I just thought, well, that number is going to probably go up based on previous numbers in the series, and it has. In fact, I hope it goes to like 214.5, and I'm probably going to try to buy off it because I don't love it. I just thought the number was going to go up.
Well, who can be Robin? I mean, Williams has been horrendous here, other than that one game.
3 of 16.
Yep. What is he? 2 of 14 from 3 going back, and 11 of 40, I think, shooting. So not much help from SGA. And again, experience. And I keep using the cliche, but they don't know how to win. They can't do it. They don't have the big game experience, and these other guys do. They've won a title, and now they're the last team that went 7 games in the first 2 rounds, the 2020 Nuggets. Before that, the 99 Nuggets. 2010, excuse me, 2020, 2019 Nuggets, right, yeah. So they've done this before, and with OKC, I don't have a lot of confidence in them, even though Gordon had the injury late in the game. But you would figure they play better at home, but I'm sitting here and waiting for this team to look like the 68-win team that we saw for much of the year and this great defensive team, and I haven't seen it, and it showed in the ATS. And you also, finally, you have to dock them from a power rating standpoint.
So
they're like a 260 favorite now, 250 against Minnesota, right, if that's the Western Conference Finals.
Right, and earlier this week, you called it out immediately when the thought was they'd be like a 330 favorite. You're like, that's insane. There's no way they can be that high. I tell you, the way they're playing right now and the way that this matchup looks like it could go for Minnesota against them, I don't think you can make them 260. I don't think you can do that.
No.
Minnesota's playing, I mean, if you go back again, if you factor in how OKC is playing like right now in the playoffs and how Minnesota has been for the last 3 months, go ahead. Wow. Make a minus 260 or $3. That's a huge mistake in my opinion.
The Randall factor too.
Yep.
How well he's smarter bets start here, last all year long with VSiN Pro. The annual subscription, 14 months, just $199. When you use promo code PRO, 2 extra months free for under 50 cents a day. Every golf bet, the betting splits, the dog videos, everything we do, less than 50 cents a day, and the betting systems from Mackin and vsin.com/subscribe code PRO. We got a lot of drama here about make and miss the cut with the PGA. A lot of guys right on the cut line here.
We'll update that. And a huge weekend in Major League Baseball with rivalry weekend going on. We'll go over the game's props, including a batter with 7 career home runs when he faces tonight's starting pitcher. All next here on VSiN.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
A lot to get into here with VSiN host Mike Somich. Little NHL action, NFL, future or futures, and the Preakness as he is hosting VSiN at the Track on Mad Dog Sports Radio and right here on VSiN tomorrow, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock Eastern. And also Ready, Set, Bet on Sunday right here on VSiN from 1 until 4 Eastern. He nailed the superfecta at the Kentucky Derby, and he joins us now on the Progressive Guest Line. Mike, good afternoon. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
I'm doing great. Phenomenal weekend. We got the PGA, NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs. We got all this NFL information out there. And of course, we got the second jewel, the Triple Crown, the Preakness. So I'm pumped to get out there to Vegas. We'll be flying out right after the hit here.
Yeah, you got to be feeling pretty good after, your breakdown in the Kentucky Derby guide here at VSiN was so good. And you were like 3 different levels here. Depends on how big of a bettor you're going to be. And like they all came in. So tip of the cap to you. Now, what do you want to do? How do you want to attack the Preakness now with the field of horses that we have in it?
Well, I'd like to hit it again because
yes, I understand that part. Yeah,
the Derby Superfecta home. Yeah, if you bought the guide over VSiN.com, you cashed $6,000 off about $300 worth of tickets. So hopefully everyone got involved over there. I'm going to attack this race in a similar manner. I think you always have to start out with what does the speed look like in these horse races. And in the Kentucky Derby, we talked about inside and outside speed and expecting a fast pace. I kind of expect the same thing here. You've got 2 speed horses, the number 1 goal-oriented for Bob Baffert and the number 8 clever again for Steve Asmussen that both want to get to the front. They both won their races going gate to wire and are two horses that I don't expect to back down from each other. I don't think one kind of lets the other go and tries to change their style and stalk in this race. On top of that, you've got the 3 American Promise, the 6 River Thames, and the 9 Gosker, who have all been forwardly placed in their races as well. This seems like it's literally setting up again for another quicker pace, which means I'm looking for horses that I believe can come from a little bit off the pace and are going to be able to handle this distance well. And it really all starts with number 2 Journalism here. He was your favorite in the Kentucky Derby. He's coming back on 2 weeks. That's the big question mark for him. Mm-hmm. How is he going to run on this quick turnaround? Now, 4 of these 9 horses are coming back on 2 weeks. We need to make sure we at least mention that. So the 1 Goal Oriented, the 3 American Promise, the 7 Sandman, as well as the 2 Journalism, all turning around quickly. And when I look at Journalism, to me, that's the real question with him. If he comes back and if he runs his Kentucky Derby, if he runs his Santa Anita Derby, if he runs his San Felipe, he wins this race by 3 or 4 lengths. So the question is just, will he be able to do it? I'm one of those proponents that I think he will. We saw this horse run 3 races in 7 weeks as a 2-year-old. He won both the second and third starts in that cycle. I don't think this is a situation where Mike McCarthy had any pressure to put him in this race. They could have saved him for the Belmont, where he would have been either the favorite or the second choice to Sovereignty in that spot, and probably had a better setup than he did in the Kentucky Derby. Journalism wants to be closer to the pace than Sovereignty did, than Baeza did on that day. And so he had to go a little bit faster early and thus didn't have that kick late. This is the setup where I think it's just perfect for him. He should be able to sit somewhere in that 5th, 6th spot, save ground on the inside there on the first turn, and then be able to really get his motor going around the far turn. And if he runs his race, I think he is the best horse. Now, that's not very sexy, right? He's 8-5 on the morning line. He's around plus 100, plus 110 if you look at fixed odds markets right now. So that's probably going to get bet down. That means we have to approach this race from a betting perspective differently than we had to approach the Kentucky Derby. When you have 19 horses, you can spread out a little bit more and you can still be able to make money if your opinion's correct. When you have 9 horses and you like the favorite, you've really got to press the pedal to the metal on your opinion if you want to be able to really cash in big on one of these races. So that's what I'm going to do here. I like Journalism quite a bit. I like the 6 River Thames as well. This is a horse that's been running in Florida, and Florida has come back as one of the best circuits that we've seen of this 3-year-old class. We saw Burnham Square win at Keeneland and then come back and run very well in the Kentucky Derby off a bad trip. We saw another Florida Derby horse win 2 days ago at Horseshoe Indianapolis and be able to come back and win. So I respect this Florida circuit quite a bit. So those are the 2 horses I'm really going to be keying on. So here are my 3 bets that I'm going to put in for the Preakness here. First one, we're going to start out with a $5 superfecta. So instead of the $1 base, we're going to go all the way up to $5 because we're getting much tighter on this ticket. So our $5 superfecta will cost you $30 total. We're going to go with the 2-horse Journalism in the first spot. And then second, third, and fourth, we're going to go with the 4-horse Heart of Honor, the 6-horse River Thames, and the 8-horse Clever again. So the 2, Journalism has to win. And then second, third, or fourth has to be either the 4, the 6, or the 8. Can finish in any order in those second, third, and fourth spots. Again, that $5 superfecta will cost you a total of $30. I mentioned I think River Thames is by far the second best horse in this race. So I'm going to play a cold exacta. The 2 Journalism with the 6 River Thames. Hoping to get around 10-1 on this, so I'm going to bet a little bit more on it. I'm going to bet $25 here and hoping for around a $250-ish return. And then I'm going to press that opinion even further. And I'm going to put I'm going to play a $10 trifecta with the 2 Journalism in first, the 6 River Thames in second, and then use the 4-horse Heart of Honor and the 8-horse Clever again in that third spot. So that ticket will cost you $20 total, and it either would need to run 2, 6, 4 or 2, 6, 8 for that final bet to win there.
Great job, Mike.
Beautiful.
All right, well done. How about tomorrow? You're a hockey guy. Game 6 in Dallas. Hellebuck off the shutout. He's lost 9 in a row in the playoffs on the road. Dallas up to $1.60, even money to win in regulation. Do the Stars finish off Winnipeg?
I think they do. I mean, this is just the story of 2 Hellebucks, right?
Yep.
I mean, you have Road Hellebuck, who got chased in 3 games against St. Louis and was not good in either of the first 2 games in Dallas. And you've got home Hellebuck, who's got 2 shutouts in this series at home. Now he's on the road again. Why would you want to be backing the Winnipeg Jets in this spot? This is an elimination game. That matters from a pulling the goalie perspective. I think Winnipeg will pull their goalie with 2.5, 3 minutes. If they're down a goal here, that gives the Stars extra capital to be able to get an empty netter. I don't want to lay them the minus 150, minus 160. Give me the puck line here. I'll take the Dallas Stars minus a goal and a half, plus 175. Ooh. We'll just keep zigzagging this. We had the Jets minus a goal and a half, plus 210 yesterday. why not just go to the Stars side here? These games have not been all that close when you look at the final scores. I expect we see a 2-goal or more win from the Stars tomorrow. So I'll lay the goal and a half, take the plus 175 on the Stars. And look, you can get decent prices right now on either the Stars or the Panthers to win it all. You can get right around 3-1 on both of them. They're going to be the better teams in their series if they get past this round. And that's the key to why the price is currently where it's sitting. They're both sitting in game 6 situations at home where I expect both to win. If either of them wins in that spot, they're going to be the favorites over the Hurricanes in the East for the Florida Panthers and over the Oilers in the West for the Dallas Stars. So I like taking either of them, really. Whoever you like more. I would lean toward the Panthers because I think they're more of a lock to be able to get to the Stanley Cup Finals. But I think 3-1 on both those teams is a good price to win it all right now.
All right, very good. Follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, VSiN host Mike Somich, and he is on the Progressive Guest Line. You and Matt Brown did a terrific job on Wednesday night for the schedule release show that was 4 hours long. You can go back, by the way, for those of you who want to maybe check that out over the weekend, live reaction to the schedule getting released. It's going to be on the VSiN Watch app. It's there right now with Mike and Matt. And so when I was listening to the show, you were like all over these teams in real time. Like right now, you've had a day or two to think about it. Like your favorite future bet or bets that are on the board currently with the number would be what?
I've got two of them. The first one is the Buffalo Bills plus 350 to be the number 1 seed in the AFC. I just look at their schedule and I think it broke so beautifully for them. If you look at their away schedule specifically, there's really one tough game on the road all year, and they don't have a difficult spot before that game, so they should be able to prep up and play well in that spot. Their home schedule features 3 hard games. They've got the Chiefs, they've got the Eagles, and they've got the Ravens. But again, all 3 of those games at home, and all 3 of them broke beautifully. They play one early, one middle, one late, and they have very easy games or their first game of the season. So they're able to, again, be able to prep for these teams that they've seen before, and they get them all at home. They have the Bengals at home as well. If the Bills can go, lose one game, maybe no games, maybe 2 games on the road, and just play like they have in Orchard Park in past seasons, they should be a 13-14 win football team, and that should be enough to win the AFC this year, considering I think Kansas City is going to have a lot more trouble with the AFC West than what we've seen in the past. The other one that I love here, and I hate saying this, I'm a Dolphins fan. Give me the under 8.5 on Miami. Yeah. I think that schedule broke as bad as it possibly could for them. They're a team that have struggled down the stretch the last 2 years when in playoff contention. Look, they're not going to have Jalen Ramsey. They still have both of their defensive ends who are coming back from major injuries. The secondary is a mess. You don't know what's going to happen with Tyreek Hill. And now you look at the schedule and you've got 3 outdoor road games in the final 8 of the season. You're going to be in cold, snowy conditions, something that Miami has never done well. And on top of that, you have just all of this turmoil around the franchise. I don't see how Miami wins 9 games this year in that AFC East. If you want to play Buffalo 1, New England 2 in the division, that's plus 152. I think New England clearly the second best team when you look through that schedule.
Very good. You can catch Mike Somich with VSiN at the track, Mad Dog Sports Radio here, and also on VSiN tomorrow, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern, and also Ready, Set, Bet Sunday from 1 to 4 Eastern on VSiN. Thanks, Mike. That was dynamite. Enjoy the weekend.
You got it. Good luck this weekend, guys.
Same. Back at you. There you go. And he was on the Progressive Guest Line.
I don't understand the price tomorrow. It's like OKC. They haven't looked like the dominant regular season team for much of the playoffs. You have to separate Winnipeg at home, Winnipeg on the road.
I would agree.
Even money in regulation, and these guys haven't won a road game, and he hasn't played well.
Plus 175 on the puck lines.
Yeah.
They'll pull the goalie.
Game 1, Game 1's big now. Losing Game 1, 3-2. Oh, it's tough. Bet the Preakness Stakes with First Bet. Get rewarded. Promo code VSiN200. 20% rebate on all wagers for the first 60 days up to $200. Firstbet.com. Code VSiN200.
Win some, lose some. Next here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Final from Wrigley. Cubs over the White Sox 13-3. Pounded Chicago today. PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, awesome with a home run and 6 RBIs. So that number goes flying over the total. Very windy, and it was flying out today. And the other game, Guardian just went 1-2-3, top of the first against the Reds. No scores. They go to the bottom half. Good day to break out the home run tracker. Now, I'm kind of going against the whole idea of this with the numbers that I bet tonight, Paulie, but I'm on two guys for tonight. We'll call it half a unit each. I did bet Aaron Judge plus 215 tonight to go yard against McGill. Again, looking at projections tonight, how the ballpark is setting up, the matchup against McGill, it made sense to me to bet it. And the other one, you didn't bring up a guy in the Tigers-Blue Jays game earlier.
Who'd I miss? Torkelson, Baez, Green? Who'd I miss?
Now I'm blanking on the guy's name. How the hell you're blanking on the name? Now I'm blanking on the name as well. Jesus, I got to go back and double check. I got him at 3-1.
I'm looking at Machado.
Carpenter. Carpenter, that's the guy. My good Lord.
Okay.
And here's why.
He's been hot too. Yeah.
Francis for the Blue Jays, 2.59 home runs per 9. He's given up 12 on the year, and you like the over in the game. So do I.
Well, Flaherty's been terrible.
Terrible, and Francis I think has been worse.
Yep. Baez is 5-1. Machado's almost 5-1. Machado during the 14-game hitting streak hitting almost 500. 5 extra base hits. I don't mind him. And to play a little long ball as well.
Well, I think everybody's going to be betting Jose Altuve tonight because in his career.
Yeah. And Soto, too. They could do that, too. Soto.
A little revenge there.
Yeah.
Although, is it revenge for him or is it revenge for the Yankees?
Well, it's more Soto one. It's because everyone's going to be booing him.
Yeah. Altuve against Nathan Eovaldi, 16 of 52 in his career. That's a 308 batting average, 7 home runs. But again, I will warn people that he actually, well, maybe this is a good thing. I don't know. It probably is. 2 home runs in 3 different games against Eovaldi, which is very difficult to pull off. But it's not like he's played 10 games and he's hit a single home run in 7 of them. So, which I guess would be a little bit different. But, and Ramirez flew out to left. Great numbers against Singer. And
12 to 22. Yep.
Yeah. Alex Bregman against Chris Sale. A couple of home runs career in his lifetime. Has good numbers there.
Yep.
And Lindor has hit Rodon quite well. 286 batting average, over 35 at-bats with 3 doubles and 2 home runs. I like to also, to tag along with the home runs, I like to look at doubles and attacking like the total base market that way. Because like Manny Machado recently in some of the matchups, he's had really good numbers, but it's almost all singles. Well, if you're going to bet over 1.5 total bases, then he's going to have at least 2 singles in the game, which he might do, but I also want to have a guy who's going to have a history here of doubles and home runs where if it's 1.5, like minus 110, a double gets the job done and you're good to go. All you need is that one hit in the game.
And there could be fireworks tonight as well with what San Diego and Machado could do. And then you have Arizona is 440 tonight at home to Colorado. Colorado undecided. Does it really matter? Burns against the Rockies, 2-20 on the road. It's the second worst run differential this time of the season since 1900. Minus 137. 440 with Burns.
I don't think it's high enough.
And May is 310. May's awesome at home, suspect on the road. Dodgers against the Angels. Angels, second worst record in baseball since April 13th. Dodgers probably play home run derby again tonight. May 310.
19 runs last night. Ohtani hit 2 of them. They kept going yard. And to keep in mind, by the way, the Angels' bullpen is right there with the Nationals as the 2 worst in all of Major League Baseball.
Yep.
There's nothing really to like there. A's are taking on the Giants. It's Sears, who is a lefty, going for the A's against Logan Webb, who has been terrific this year. 2.60 ERA with a 1.98 FIP. He doesn't allow home runs, only 0.33 per 9, and he's striking out more than 10.5 batters per 9. But I will say this. Remember, the Giants have been great for the most part all year long at simply winning games when the opposing starting pitcher is a right-hander against lefties on the year. They are like bottom 10, bottom 12 in the league at some of the most important metrics in all of baseball that you need with that lineup. They do not hit lefties well at all. And they have not been winning games against lefties for what it's worth either.
Twins? They do it again?
Small number against the Brewers.
Ryan's been good. 11 in a row. The Pens only allowed 4 runs in their last 39 innings pitched. During this run, 5.3 runs per game. They're second in ERA. Ryan's 2-0 with an ERA under 1.
Don't you think the number is kind of small? I mean, and
yes.
The Twins are a team that you want to be betting on right now, and the Brewers are kind of the exact opposite with their offense in a big-time funk.
Yes.
So.
A little surprised with that number, yes.
Yeah.
And how about look at the Phillies? Suarez is 250 against Haney, and the Pirates. The Pirates' pitching's been solid, but they can't hit. That guy's still keeping track of that, our listener. But 20 in a row, 4 runs or fewer. Club record. Only worse in the wild card era, the Marlins from a couple years ago, 23 in a row.
Well,
They did win 4-0 last time out. The starter's ERA is under 2 in the last 10 games. So they're getting a starting, but just no punch, no offense here.
No, I typically don't like to bet home teams to win by the run line because, in theory, they don't have to get that at bat in the bottom of the ninth, and they can win the game 4-3. However, there is this with both of these guys being left-handed pitchers, Haney for the Pirates and Suarez for the Phillies. The Phillies are top 10 in WRC plus and WOBA against lefties on the year. The Pirates are bottom 8 in those two categories, and they also own the third highest K rate against lefties on the year. So Phillies minus 1.5 is minus 15 cents, and I don't hate that tonight. I might add that to the portfolio, along with the Twins.
All right.
And here's the K prop that I laddered tonight. It's the Nationals at the Orioles. Mackenzie Gore takes on Povich. Both those pitchers are lefties. Here's the deal with the O's against lefties on the year. WRC plus is 50. That's the second worst in Major League Baseball. The WOBA is 236. That's dead last. And they have the 7th highest K rate against lefties at 25.4%. Lefties on the year are 9-2-1 over their K prop for what it's worth against Baltimore. Gore struck out 8 against them on April 28th, and other lefties to go against Baltimore this year. Crochet had 8. Bubic had 8 his first start. Only 3 in his second start against them. Abbott had 11. Skubal had 11. And Rodon had 7. And again, I was looking at some projections and models on this game tonight. And just going off of one computer set of ratings, it seems more likely that Gore is going to be between 7, 8, 9, and 10 Ks than he would be below 6.5. So I bet him over 7.5 for a nice bet, and I laddered him up with smaller bets to 8 and 9. And
if you have Circa for a book, you can bet the Diamondbacks plus $1.10 to sweep the Rockies. They're $4.50 today. They're $3.50 tomorrow. It's Gallen against Marquez. I don't know who's going Sunday. That's plus 110. All those best bets from G-Bank. Get the G-Bank Visa Signature Card today. Most credit card, street sports books, and gaming transactions as cash advances. That's even when you put your own money on the card. And G-Bank treats gaming transactions as purchases, so you're saving up to 3 to 5% on cash advance fees and gaming transactions right there, and you're earning 1% cash back rewards on eligible sportsbook and gaming transactions and 2% rewards on all eligible purchases. Apply now, vsin.com/GBank. vsin.com/GBank.
Great angle, Paul, because what did you say the number is tomorrow with Gallen going 350?
Yeah.
And if the Diamondbacks win tonight, that number is only going to go up. So I have Dollander against Kelly.
All right.
On Sunday.
Oh, boy.
So the Diamondbacks will be a gigantic favorite there. The plus 110 has to be better than a rollover parlay.
Mm-hmm. All right, check your Circa books. And how about Paul Bovey? He got a refund on his Porzingis props the other night because he didn't play in the second half. The sports book said, hey, okay, we'll refund the action.
Oh, okay, that's solid.
That's a new one.
I mean, you can never, I think it's kind of goofy when they do that all the time, but I would never complain if it's going to happen, you know? Here, I'm going to do the math on that right now because they're 440 tonight. They're minus 350 tomorrow. Let's make Kelly, I'll be conservative here, minus 250 on Sunday. So
that is conservative.
Okay. A $100 bet on that would be, I'm wrong.
Well, he's not going to be 250.
Okay, so give me a number then. 350?
Yeah, he's been better than Gallen. Yeah, do 320.
Do 320. Okay. Because you're right. And if the Diamondbacks win the first 2 games, it's $1.07 then. It's plus 107 at that rate.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine, I think 250 might be really late on Sunday.
And especially what if the games is 14-2?
Yeah, what if the series begins like it did against and by the way, at that point if they win the first 2, you can always come back and take a little bit. You can probably take 1.5 runs at a plus number with the Rockies on Sunday.
Uh-oh. Rory 1 over.
Oh, is that right?
Projected cut is 1 over. Rory just gave a couple back.
Oh, mamma mia.
He was plus 750 to miss the cut.
He was just down to 11-1 to win the whole thing.
Schauffele could miss the cut, 4-1. Hey Bear, likely to miss the cut. Boy, oh boy.
Doug Kazarian on the program coming up next. We'll go heavy NBA, WNBA. Does he expect the Knicks to bounce back and close out the Celtics tonight in Game 6?
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
We'll go heavy NBA playoffs and the beginning of the WNBA season here with Doug Kazarian, cool enough to stop in, swing into the studio today here on a Friday afternoon. Knowing you for probably 2 decades now, and you have been firing on the NBA since day one. You love the sport.
Crazy as that sounds, I grew up in LA during the Showtime era. So, I have older brothers. I never got to watch cartoons because I was never strong enough to hold on to the remote. They got power. And so you just grow up, and obviously Lakers were just such an easy team to like back then. And then I became a junkie, and then it became sort of a competitive advantage, if you will, in the media world, because I was the only idiot watching 5, NBA games at once and go 3 deep off the bench for Charlotte and things like that. And so you just kind of, and it's crazy, and it's a headache, it's a disaster. I love what Humans always downplays it. He's like, I tease him. I go, what would you rather bet, like baseball in the summer or that? And it's just there's no answer. So some people you don't have the stomach for it, and I don't blame them, to be honest.
Tough.
As I told Doug's mom. Disappointment of the family.
Did she agree? That's the question.
But it's also, it's the
black
kudos.
sheep. Yeah, I wear it with honor. Black sheep.
But the Harvard doctor, lawyer, everything.
Hanging out in Vegas, bachelor, gambling.
Great.
That's not usually what the parents designed from the start.
Yeah, she was great.
But who said the better life, though?
Yeah,
overall?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
true. Yep.
So, do you have a strong opinion on what's going to happen tonight?
No, I just have a strong lean, if you will, to the Knicks. Where I'm in your guys' basketball challenge, and I have one more pick to go in the second round. And I thought the other day I was earmarking Knicks, and I just think all the pressure in the world. And Boston, I heard you guys earlier to begin the show, and I totally agree. You guys, it's very clunky offense with Tatum and Brown. Your turn, my turn, your turn. Now they're not better. Right. They're obviously not better without Tatum.
But you know what they're going to do every possession.
Right, but there's a
where's
fluidity.
The mismatch? Where's Brunson? Where's Cat?
But the question is, in this game, obviously Boston Game 5, such a unique game. The Fallen Star, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
The Knicks playing sort of tight, like, oh my God, we could actually win. We're up 3-1, and they don't have Tatum. So I understand how the game unfolded. The question for tonight, I think the number one question for tonight's handicapping is, what in Game 5 can actually carry over to Game 6?
Yes.
Right? I don't think Cornette's going to have this monster game. I don't think Brown's going to flirt with a triple-double. I don't think Derek White's going to hit his first 5 shots from 3, but I think he'll have a big game. I think it's Pritchard. Everyone in their world's on Pritchard. Mm-hmm. Usually that's a dangerous thing, but sometimes it also works. So I do think Pritchard will carry over. He's been the most efficient player on the roster in the entire series, except for if you count Cornette maybe. But he played 39 minutes last game. He looks for his shots. I think 15.5 now. The market's moved up. I do think that's sustainable. He had a bunch of shot attempts. He had usage. He had 23 earlier. I even like 30-1 to be the game's leading scorer.
Oh,
worth the smallest little sprinkle there is. Highly unlikely. I like OG at 25-1 too. But Pritchard's the only play, like the straight wager, I think is playable. But I do lean Knicks. It's all the pressure in the world, but I think they get it done.
Give me Boston up 7 at halftime. That is a lot of juice. Which I would love.
I'd be with you if they didn't have Brunson. I think Brunson.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying from a just squeaky bum angle, you're right. All the pressure's on him. 25 years since conference finals, up 3-1. They're going to blow this. No Tatum.
Right, but they have pedigree even from college with Brunson.
Oh, sure.
Bridges.
Awesome.
Tibbs knows what he's doing. Obviously, he's got a ring as an assistant with the Celtics. I think they're going to be okay. I really do.
They've been in this spot before, though, and they bleeped the bed against Detroit. Couldn't close them out. Had to do it on the road. Right, Detroit actually outplayed them for much of that series, and the Knicks have been better on the road than at home.
But it's also hard to win and cover 3 straight games, and they had taken both in Detroit. And Detroit's good. No, to your point, I'm not betting it, so it's a lean, right? But that's my rationale.
Anything on the total?
No, I understand why it's gone up. I know you were on the over in the last game. That was smart. They're a worse defensive team, obviously they being Boston without Tatum, and a lot of more chucking and ducking. And I think New York does want to kind of run and gun, and New York's defense isn't that great. There's a tightness component that has me off the over, so it's over or nothing. I do think if it gets to 7, I'm on the under. I really do.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm saving one more bullet in my contest play. I'm waiting to see how this all plays out.
Okay, so for that game potentially,
Yeah.
are you going to give any consideration in that final bullet that you have to the game on Sunday in the West?
Nuggets, if anything.
Yep.
I got to wait to get an update on Aaron Gordon's hamstring. That's the key for me. But it is crazy. I mean, look, this series is tight. When you think about the minus 900 or whatever series price it was, Denver could have this series in the bag. Now, game 1 was fluky. I get it. But the other games that they lost, they've covered 5 of the 6. Now, let's say the Aaron Gordon bank 3 doesn't go, and let's say they've covered 4 of 6. This clearly the market's wrong. That's why there's an adjustment for game 7. That's why it's 7.5, not 10.5 again.
Yep.
And that's the whole thing. If this brings back shades of Moneyball, right? How you perform against every other team in the league over 162 games is not how you're going to perform in baseball in a 5-game series. Here, how the the Thunder do with their deep bench and catching teams coming to OKC and road trips and all that stuff, very different than how Jokic is going to play in a series elimination game and the fact that he's unstoppable. We know that the playoffs are different, even going back. I mean, look at Paul Pierce and some other guys who can only play the 4 when he was with the Nets, play the 4 in maybe a playoff series, but not all 82 games. So Nuggets aren't going to burn Jokic into the ground. They're going to play DeAndre Jordan, X amount of minutes. Teams play the postseason very differently, and it's matchup driven. And I think there's something to be said about OKC not having the game experience.
Absolutely.
And there's counter moves as well. At the beginning of the second half yesterday, they started doubling SGA, got the ball out of his hands, and you get a brick 3 from the far corner, and then Chet airballs a 3. I mean, there's just all this other stuff going on. They're gonna throw wrinkles at everything right now, and I like the 7.5 points.
Yeah, Williams was terrible again last night.
Unbelievable.
And by the way, I thought it was 2 consecutive design plays. One was out of a timeout for Chet to take it open 3. What the hell is that?
I tweeted last night, the only thing worse than him in this series is his haircut. And it's ridiculous how bad he's been. Oh, it's like, they point to these 13 boards. Yeah. After like those 2 games in Denver that landed 189 and 203 in overtime, and he's getting these bouncing rebounds. He did play well at times. He challenged some shots, but he can't shoot. I think he's literally 25%, 6 of 24 from 3 combined in the series. And he's almost at times unplayable, but there's no one off the bench you can play.
There you go.
Yeah, Case and Wallace and stuff like that. It's smart not to have him on Jokic, and obviously if he gets stuck on Jokic, it's not his fault. The guy's the best player in the world. But some of these guys have to deliver. Like Caruso in game 1 was great.
Yeah.
They need more of that. They just need more of that. They can't just sort of wait for SGA to win it for them. They're going to play tight. Even if they do win on Sunday, I don't think it's going to be a blowout. The extra day rest really helps Denver. Right. I've been saying play Strother. He's better than a banged-up Porter Jr. or a stupid Westbrook or a reckless Westbrook. We'll see how this plays out. But the Gordon hammy is certainly a significant sort of development.
I'm so disappointed in this team and the coaching staff because I don't think Denver has an all-time great player, but they're not that good. The whole world was lining up to and bet the Clippers in that first series, right?
But then they forgot James Harden plays for the Clippers.
That's that too, right? But then it's Porter's hurt, Westbrook's a liability, Gordon's hurt, Gordon didn't do anything, Murray's got the flu, and it's going 7.
And
how bad is game 1?
And they played
now?
one guy off the bench, double-digit minutes.
That's right. They have no depth. This is right, and it's every other night.
But they know how to muck the game up, and then the refs and the home crowd. It's just the way the playoffs unfolded.
Game one is so bad now to be up 9 with 2:40.
But the Nuggets caught a couple breaks.
They did.
And then they gave away game 4.
How about
it's
this?
Been a wild series.
How about Denver wins game 7? Does OKC make a move for Freak?
Probably not, but you got to do something with those 9 draft picks. At some point, you can't just have shelf life and then waste your prime of SGA and things like that. Maybe they do. I think guys like Bruce Brown was so pivotal for a guy like Denver. Getting that veteran experience. Caruso's been a big asset. Maybe you need another guy who maybe starts and you replace Holmgren or you flip Holmgren. I mean, what's the ceiling on that guy? I mean, is he going to turn into Wemby Jr.? No. And people that tall usually have feet problem anyways. So
yeah. And then how about this? OKC wins a 4-point game tight the entire way. Books opened up the Thunder 270 against the Wolves. What do you do?
So that's what it's going to be. A guy DM'd me today. He goes, what do I do? He has 20 large on a futures ticket at the Thunder minus 175 to win the West. So I'm like, well, you can't really do anything. You can't start hedging. Maybe you take a little plus 175, but Yeah. So I think the turnaround will be quick, even though the game one's at OKC. I like the T-Wolves in this. There's a swagger to them that I think will be a sort of, so often the NBA playoffs, not always, often it's incremental, right? You got to get over the hump, things like that.
Sure.
We know that going back to the 80s and 90s with Jordan. Didn't go through the Celtics. He went through the Pistons. Everyone forgets that. I do think the T-Wolves, this feels like their year. And let's face it, I say this all the time. People think I'm joking, and it's kind of funny. Chris Finch had a broken leg last year he was behind the bench. Like, if that didn't matter, then all coaches would sit behind the bench. Being out on the court, being able to shout at your players and orchestrate things matters. Yeah. He was not there. They had a backup assistant coach doing it. I think the fact that their head coach is healthy does matter, in the little fine, difference makers of a series.
Also, there's this. The T-Wolves probably should, at this point, have two of the best three players in the whole series. And maybe the best two, the way Randall's playing.
Yeah, if Williams isn't going to play like his potential, then of course.
Oh, he's been terrible.
Yep.
I can't believe it.
Giant disappointment. I think the other Jalen Williams has been. I'd be playing him over Chet. I'd be playing him over Chet. He's the right guy to play. He's like another Caruso, so to speak.
He's multidimensional. He can give you several different things on the court at the same exact time.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't have the rim protection, but he has and he bodies enough and keeps the strength. He's very good.
The number one guy they can rely on the bench right now, I totally agree with what you said about Caruso, is Cason Wallace.
Yeah. He knows his limitation. I mean, he knows his range. He attacks the rim great defensively.
WNBA with Doug Kazarian up next. We'll get his best bets for the opening weekend of this sport. And is Caitlin Clark's club getting too much hype? We'll ask him next.
This is your before and after story, where your first steps towards a new life-changing career begin. Southeastern College can take you there. We offer in-demand hybrid and online programs with hands-on training, led by in-field career professionals, and career services to put you on the path to a rewarding and fulfilling future. This is where your transformation begins. Southeastern College, your future is bright. Visit sec.edu to get started.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.